Hey guys, I'm Paintivity, and I am going to be continuing Murder Most Misfortunate. So we can, we've got 18 minutes on the clock. So we've got the king bedroom and the smoking room left to discover. And I think, let's see, we have to talk to Leah still. I think that's the only one. But let's start with the king bedroom. That's where we were at when the lights went out. I mean, not like we haven't really seen anything, but I don't know if we're actually gonna get to talk to anyone up here. Okay, so Leah's up
I
here instead.
returned to the king bedroom, where I'd been when the whole grisly affair started. I thought it might give me a chance to think by myself, but alas, it was not to be.
Yeah, well, you're not alone, so...
The curtains were drawn back, and a particularly pernicious twerp of a girl was leaning halfway out the window. After what had already happened, it would be such a shame were she to slip and go out all the way.
Oh my goodness.
Young girls these days really ought to be more careful.
Please don't push her out the window. Yeah, she's on her phone. She could care less. Let's examine the room first. That seems to be my trend.
Had these books on the shelf belonged to the Lee family as well? Curious, I skimmed a few of the titles. A History of the Republic, Genealogy of the Great Families, How to Train Killer Bats, Genghis Khan and the 21 Balloons. All dreadfully dull classics, I'm sure.
And how is this relevant? Don't think it is. This one should be a pretty quick.
I'd hope that by
Pretty
taking
quick
a closer
room.
look at the ruined portrait, I might be able to discern who had been pictured.
They're all
I could
kind of messed up.
imagine no shortage of delicious reasons why a lord's portrait might be disfigured in a house such as this.
But you didn't care about the other lady's room?
Shredded by a bitter servant when the master was thought absent. Savaged by an angry child who never quite lived up to expectations. Alas, the portrait seemed more a victim of old age than of some crime of passion. And of the face, I could make out nothing at all.
If it's not relevant, move on. I mean, it's cool, but we've got a murder to solve. It's kind of a thing.
For just the slightest of moments,
Oh, yeah,
I
no.
considered collapsing.
No.
Then I remembered that Spider...
Yeah, we already heard you talk about that. Don't really care. Oh. I think we already talked about the chest. We already talked about the bed as well. The drapes
The air
are
in
open,
the old
though.
house was still and thick with dust. But even had there been a draft,
And I think she
I
mentioned
doubt
the
the
drapes
black
already,
drapes by
too.
the room's window would have stirred.
Okay.
Even I was surprised by how thick and
Yeah.
heavy the material was.
Yeah, we know. I don't think there's anything else, so... Let's talk to Leah. She's probably not gonna want to say much. Guess it's... Hey, what are you
My dear
doing?
little girl, just what are you doing? You're liable to go for quite the little tumble if you keep leaning out the window like that.
Ugh, she's such a jerk.
I'm trying to get a decent signal.
Oh, for your phone? Yes, it does seem like you young people just can't get by without them these days.
I don't care about the phone. I want network access.
Whatever for.
Call the police?
So I can hack the phone company records and figure out who called this house.
Nice. It's an awesome idea.
You can do that, can you?
Yep.
Yep.
Hmm.
Why are you in her space?
Look, I hate people staring
Exactly.
over my shoulder when I'm working. Can't you go find a fainting couch and a bottle of smelling salts or something?
Now, Miss Leah, was it? I'm afraid I just don't know very much about you. Who are you exactly?
Sharice's friend?
I'm Sherry's friend.
I rather gathered that much. But, my dear girl, what with her enormous fortune, social connections, and nauseatingly innocent good looks, I'd imagine the list of people who'd like to be friends with Miss Charisse is rather long. What's special about you?
Fine. My parents were rich too. They're in the tech business.
Okay.
Sherry and I went to private school together. I helped her with math, she helped me be a better person. Fair trade, I hope.
You say were. Have your parents passed away as well?
How is that appropriate to ask?
No, we just don't get along too well right now.
Ah, and your dear old fabulously wealthy school friend took you in. How sweet of her.
Uh-huh, I see where you're going with this. And no, I'm not financially dependent on Charisse. Sure, I live with her, but I've got a nice little fund of my own. So I've got no motive to bump off a boyfriend out of fear that he'll kick me out of the house or something like that.
Oh my, perish the thought. I'd never dream of suggesting such a thing.
Yeah, okay.
No, I'm sure you've got much nastier things to save for your dreams.
Pretty much. It's the whole vibe we're getting.
So your friend Miss Charisse, just how long had she been seeing our dear departed host?
That's a good question.
Not that long, but he seemed pretty intense about it. Nighttime river cruises, the opera, the theater, you name it.
Ah, swept off her feet into a whirlwind romance with a dark and mysterious dashing older man. Your friend must have been positively giddy with excitement.
Something like that, yeah.
I like her answer. She's
Oh,
like, yeah,
it must
whatever.
have been so hard for you, being left out of all that and resigned to watching from the sidelines.
Rude.
Yeah, right. That kind of high society stuff isn't really my thing.
No kidding, we can tell.
No, I suppose not.
Come to think of it, Wizard Boy sometimes looked a little pouty at being left out, though.
Did he really? How do you know? Did he tell you so?
Everybody seems to be pointing fingers at Horatio.
No, nothing like that. Just an impression I got. Not really my business anyway. As long as Sherry's happy, I'm happy. That's all that matters.
That's
I
a good
see.
friend.
So, was she happy?
It was what she wanted. So yeah.
And try though you might, you just can't bring yourself to sound happy about that. My, how curious.
Look, if you're gonna pry any further, you'd better go get yourself a crowbar, don't you think?
That is an amazing answer. I like that. Okay, so her investigation.
So, your sweet little friend. She can be quite the tease, it seems. I was just talking to her earlier,
Why
and
do you
she
talk
let it
so
drop
slow?
that this wasn't her first murder case.
You must think you're very clever for worming that out of her. You know, I bet you're one of those people who think they're a lot smarter than they really are, aren't you?
That's awesome.
My dear Leah, something like that is not exactly the wisest thing to say when you're perched precariously on the edge of a window. It's ever so fortunate that I'm in a good mood today.
So are you saying that you're totally cool with killing people?
A good mood. Here, now. How could... No, never mind. I forgot who I was talking to.
In any case, my dear, Miss Therese said the only other one here who was involved in that case was you. No matter how smart I might or might not think I am, surely you can't blame me for wondering whether it might be relevant to our current predicament.
Well, it's not. Not directly, anyway.
Yeah.
Aha! Not directly. Now we're getting somewhere.
Well, it looks like she used the
I
crowbar.
didn't want to talk about it, and I'm sure Sherry said the same thing. It was bad. For everyone, but especially for her. The truth she learned that day, she's never going to forget. And she definitely doesn't need you dredging it all up.
Interesting. So Charisse learned.
There's no
Or,
need to
I
tell me,
don't know.
darling. She learned the truth about her family, didn't she? That not all that lovely money of theirs was obtained through, how shall we say, completely honest business.
That would be my best guess, but I don't think Charisse was the killer.
It's plain as day, really. Insufferably idealistic young socialite comes into her fortune and starts throwing it at every charitable cause she can find out of guilt. Oh yes, I know her type well enough.
I don't know about that.
We learned that a family had been mixed up with some really bad people.
Okay.
No, more than just bad. With true evil.
And so it turns out her life of wealth and comfort was built on the blood of innocence. So very tragic for her, I'm sure.
She just wants to make up for it all. Make it all right again. Sometimes I worry she thinks she can carry the weight of the whole world. She pushes herself hard enough.
Interesting. Huh. I don't think
Yes,
she really
I
needs to
did
tell
say
her any of that,
insufferably
though.
idealistic, didn't I?
If by that you mean a better person than you'll ever be, then yeah, that's spot on. She just needs someone to watch her back. That's all.
And let me guess, you do whatever it takes to keep your dear little friend safe, wouldn't you?
Oh my goodness,
Whatever
let it go.
takes.
My, such ardor, such resolve. Remind me never to get on your bad side, darling.
Too late.
Too late.
Oh my goodness.
So, who was it then that called the house?
Well, she didn't have reception, I'm
If
guessing.
I tell you, will it get you to leave me alone?
Maybe.
My dear girl, this predicament affects all of us. If you found out anything that might be in the least helpful, surely it's in all of our interests for you to share it.
I'll take that as a yes. Fine. The number is 11223344. It's a business number registered to Oxley Accounting Services.
Interesting. Nice.
An accountant? Doesn't exactly sound like a social call, now does it?
Who knows? As far as I can tell, this Prince Titanico had some pretty weird friends.
You haven't tried
Like
contacting
what?
them then?
Nah, that'd mean talking to more weirdos. I'd rather try and hack into their private email or something and see what's up.
I'll leave you to it, my dear.
Well, she made the best progress out of everybody. We're gonna leave. We still have to go to the smoking room. Yeah, let's go to the smoking room, and then we're gonna try and go back to the balcony to see if we can make that call. I don't know if anybody will be here, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I returned to what the prince had called the proverbial smoke-filled room. It struck me that this would be the perfect place to call everyone
But
and reveal the
I'm
truth
not
to
ready
this
yet.
mystery. All in good time, of course. In the meantime, I thought it wise to take another look around while I still had the room to myself.
Okay. I don't know who the killer is yet. We know about the cabinet.
That cabinet had a
Wait.
few things of interest in it.
Yeah, I think
if
something's
remember
missing. The
correctly.
dagger.
Let's take a closer look. A padded velvet cushion sat in the cabinet looking somewhat forlorn. Surely it was meant to showcase something more interesting.
Yeah.
But there was nothing on it now. I could swear that something had been on this cushion before.
Probably the knife.
Just what was it? Yes, that was it. There had been a knife on the cushion during our tour. I was sure of it. And
Right.
not just any knife. The knife that may have stabbed the prince. But who could have taken it? I cast my mind back, trying to remember if anyone had lingered behind for even a moment. But it availed me nothing. The prince had been the first to leave the room, but that was the only thing of which I was certain.
Okay. Okay,
In
the
the
Wicker
cabinet,
Man.
there was an odd little doll that seemed to be made out of straw.
More like the Blair
Was it
Witch.
some kind of voodoo doll? I tried making those a time or two myself, although, to my great dismay, they never seemed to actually work quite right.
What is that? Okay, apparently nothing of importance. I mean, I don't totally want to stop. There we go. Everything else is probably historical. Wine rack.
On one
Sure.
side of the room, there was a wine rack filled with dusty old bottles. Most were empty, but a few still contained small amounts of what must have been very well-aged red wine. At least,
Okay.
I hoped it was just wine. With a family like the Lees, one could never be quite sure. Perhaps I should take a bottle with me to check it later. Just in case.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a good idea. Okay, apparently we're taking it. That's shady. Or at least I think so. I have
The
seen
large
one of these
crystal
before.
globe in the cabinet was impossible to miss. It seemed to be filled with a swirling red mist of some kind, and as I stared into it, I thought for a moment that I could see a pair of malevolent eyes. Or was it just one, staring back?
Yeah.
But
I don't
surely it
know.
must have just been my reflection
Seems
in
weird.
combination with the dim light.
I wonder if that was a clue, or it was just one eye staring back at me. I don't know what she was hoping to accomplish with that. More books and chairs. The bookshelf again.
The strange pose of the statue in the corner of the room rather reminded me of my third husband. You see,
Okay.
the last time I saw the dear old boy, he was in the
Oh.
process of losing his balance and tumbling down the whole stairs. Terrible tragedy, really.
Yeah, he
I
just
had to have
happened to
those
fall down the stairs,
completely
huh?
replaced just to get the blood out.
Wow. That's awkward. Alright. I don't know who the killer is yet, but apparently we're going to be meeting in the smoke room. Oh, I can't click on it. Main hall. Why? So dramatic. Just go upstairs. Ah. No, I just examine the room. There we go. Let's see if we can use this phone number.
I suppose I could dial a number here, if I knew of one worth calling.
Yeah. Okay, that seems pretty legit. There.
That just seems like a random number. I certainly don't mind making a crank call or two now and again, but this probably isn't the time or place.
Well, then what was the point? How is that not the number? Ah, that sucks. Let's see. Stop the examination. Let's talk to her again.
So, my poor little girl, I was talking to my friend the Comtessa, and she told me she'd heard people at court say the rudest things about your late family.
Of course.
I suppose they might have done. Sometimes people will say things that are quite unkind. I try not to let it bother me.
Still, it must be awfully hard being a new money family when there are so many busybodies who go on and on about tradition and blue blood and that sort of thing.
Oh, I don't think so. Some people will say cruel things about anybody. I've heard them say things even about the Comtessa, too. So it wasn't just us.
About the Comtessa, really? I thought you said you didn't listen to that sort of thing.
Just because she heard it doesn't mean she had to repeat it.
I try not to. But Titanico talked about it sometimes. I think he knew the Comtessa's last husband before he passed away.
My goodness! Surely he didn't imply that she was in any way responsible. That would be unthinkable.
Well, he did say there were rumors. But I'm sure that's all they were. Like I
7
said,
seconds left.
people say nasty things sometimes.
Yes, my dear. They most certainly.
Time's up. Now what? I don't know if I was supposed to find the killer before the timer ran out, or if now this is the chance to do it. I don't know. Like, I may have completely not handled that right. It's very possible. Interesting. But my guess is Horatio or Klops, perhaps. Seems like Horatio might have, like, the most
My
motive,
time was
maybe?
up. The police would be here any minute, and I certainly couldn't afford for those louts to come to their own misguided conclusions. Of
Okay.
course, at this point, I couldn't 100% guarantee that my own ideas would be correct,
Exactly.
but at the very least, they would be a lot more entertaining.
So now what? Oh, jeez. It's a lot of people. Well, no one has
Wonderful.
anything to say.
Everyone's here. I guess that means we can begin.
Begin, what exactly?
Why, exposing the murderer, of course.
Oh, jeez.
You mean you know who it is?
Not really.
Of course I do, my dear. Don't you?
Well, no. I'm not sure. At least not yet.
Pity. You were the one who said we had to see the truth for ourselves or something. weren't you? Well, it's a good thing that at least one of us has been busy this past little while.
Brag, brag, brag.
Come now, darling, you simply can't keep us in suspense like this. Are you going to tell us or not?
Yeah, after all this, it better be good. Not that I'm getting my hopes up or anything, mind.
Yeah.
All in good time, my dear little girl. First, we all need to agree on some basic facts.
Ow.
Mr. Klops, you've been posted out in front of the house ever since we found the body, yes?
Yes, ma'am. That's right.
Okay.
And did you see anyone leaving the house? Or anybody hanging about at all?
Probably not.
No, ma'am. There was no one there. And nobody would have got past me, that's for sure.
No, I'm sure they wouldn't. That glowering gaze of yours alone would be enough to send them scurrying back the way they came. As for the rest of us, did anyone find any trace of a break-in?
It's a good
Broken
point.
windows, muddy footprints, anything at all?
You know, a typical, like, somebody who came in.
Indeed not. I saw nothing of the sort, and if I might say so, a magician's eyes are trained to spot even the smallest of details.
I didn't see anything either. Not a thing.
Okay.
Good then, so we agree. Nobody else has entered or left the house, which means that the killer is one of us, right here in this room.
Right. Can we just all agree?
Darling, this is just too much. If you make us wait even a moment more, I shall need a glass of brandy and a bottle of smelling salts.
Oh, I'll take more orange juice. If someone is getting drinks, that is.
Wow.
Yes, sir. But first, how about we hear who did it?
Oh. So my guess is between Klops and Horatio. Not that the Comtessa couldn't have done it, but Horatio had to fix the lights. So he left first. And then Klops went to get candles. After the phone call, I think.
This is it then. There's no going back.
I'm probably gonna
It's
screw
time
this
to
up
end
so
this.
bad. It's not my thing. I'm gonna go with Horatio because he seems like the most likely to have done it, like with time frame. But Klops was the closest to the prince. Let's see. So the lights went out. Horatio went to go fix it. Phone call came in. The prince left. Klops went to go get candles. So he followed the prince and saw him on the phone call. Breaker room's right in the center of the building, which is on the way to the dining hall, I believe. I think it might be Klops. I'm gonna go with Klops. I don't think it's likely
was you,
though.
Klops. You killed Prince
I
Tartaglia.
doubt it. I'm pretty sure I missed something.
Me? What are you talking about?
Now, Klops, there's no need for shouting. We can talk this through like reasonable people.
Urgh.
Why don't you, keep talking then, Miss...
Certainly. Perhaps first we should get the issue of motive out of the way.
I don't really think he
That
had
shouldn't take
one.
long.
He just happened
What
to be
do
the
you mean?
closest.
Why would I want to kill my own boss?
It's a fair
That,
question.
my dear man, is as plain as the perpetual scowl on your face.
No promotion? I don't know if he was in the prince's
It's
will.
money, of course. The
Like,
most
since that was the only
timeless
option I
motive
got.
of all.
Timeless, perhaps. But how would Mr. Klops make any money? By putting himself out of a job.
You never know.
Come now, Comtesse de Clesidra. You have a
Clesidra.
household staff of your own. Is it not common for fine lords and ladies to leave a monetary legacy to their loyal servants?
Well, certainly the better ones do. What do you say,
Hmm.
Mr. Horatio? Do you think that this was something the prince might have
See,
done?
and Horatio was like his side man, so
Well, not that I'm privy to the precise details of the prince's will, but let's just say it's rather unlikely.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
and
thinking.
besides, how much would you expect a mere valet to get? It's not like he was the butler or something.
but he kind of was.
Urgh.
Misfortune, you seem to be picking on Mr. Klops for no reason at all.
Well, look, I had to
Why
pick.
What? Rubbish. Nonsense. I just want to do my civic duty and make things as quick and straightforward as possible for our busy, hard-working law enforcement officers. That's all.
Yeah.
Civic duty. You. Okay, now I know you're full of it.
Well, since you're inclined to be so helpful, Miss Fortune, perhaps you would submit to a quick search of your person? Of course, we should all do the same. I'll even go first if you like.
I don't know.
No, I vote her first. Might save us all some trouble.
I think no, as far as I know, she doesn't have the knife on her because that was we chose to do like to leave it
I think
behind.
that's a good idea. Any objections?
I suppose not. I mean,
It's definitely gonna make her look like the
nothing to
asshole
hide.
though.
Well, not much at least.
Allow me then, darling. I do have gloves on just in case, and I promise I'll be gentle. Hang on.
Yeah, see,
What's
I
this?
wondered.
Oh my lord! There's a knife in her purse, and it's got blood on it.
Of course she looks like the jerk.
Alive? My dear Countess, get back. Cops, make sure she doesn't try anything.
Unhand me, you ill-dressed oaf! I swear, that knife isn't mine. I have
Oh.
no idea how it got there.
It was supposed to stay in the queen bedroom.
Blade. It's the same as the wound on the prince. Misfortune. You killed him?
No.
Hey, there's something else in her bag. A diamond ring.
What?
Wait, this belonged to the boss.
I don't remember this.
Let me see. Oh my. Pops, you are right. This ring,
I didn't know about that part.
it was on the prince when he died.
How did
Miss
she
Fortune,
manage to get that?
Dastardly fiend.
Are you even listening to me, you orange juice guzzling clown? I don't know how those things got in my purse.
Hmm.
Under the circumstances, I think we're going to have to leave it to the police to decide that.
Yes,
True.
Klops. Don't let her out of your sight for an instant. A villainous villain will face justice for what she did to my friend.
Well, we obviously know that she didn't do it.
I hear the sirens now. I'll go let them in. Can't say I'll be terribly upset to have them take her away from here. Goodbye, Misfortune.
Maybe that's how it ends.
Tisk tisk, darling. Petty robbery. Must be hard times, I suppose. Normally, you're smart enough to marry them first.
Achievement unlocked. Victim. I failed. I failed. There you go. You have murder most misfortunate. So obviously I chose the wrong person, but I don't know that it would have went any better if I had chosen Horatio or the Comtessa. But yeah, I don't know. Like, this was not exactly like up my alley for figuring things out. But there you have it. That is the end of Murder Most Misfortunate. If you want, you can try it out yourself and then do a better job than I did of exposing the true killer. So there is that. If you'd like to, go ahead and hit the button. If you have something to say, leave me a comment and we can talk about it. So I don't know what I'm going to do next, but I'll definitely figure it out. So thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, thanks for joining the universe. Bye!